Here's the truth that I kept coming back to, and I keep coming back to now. You are not behind. You are becoming who you're supposed to be. You are moving through the exact lessons, the challenges, the detours to get that growth that you need. And even if it doesn't look like it makes sense, if it's linear, if it's pretty, it can be messy and it can be really slow, but you are not behind. Welcome back to another episode of the Mindful Malibu Morning, a place for conversations surrounding personal growth, self-development, and mental health and wellness, helping you reconnect to your inner rhythm, your quiet strength, and your intentional path forward. I'm Casey Barneson, and it is my intention to help you find more passion and purpose in your life. You might be listening on a walk, in the car, making your morning coffee or tea, or just during a moment of pause and you stumbled across the episode title and it sounded great. Wherever this podcast finds you, I hope that you congratulate yourself for taking the time to listen to content that is uplifting and helpful and positive and moving forward. If you've ever had the feeling that I should be further by now in your life, in some area of your life, whether that is I should be further in my career or a relationship, I should be further in my physical fitness journey, in my mental health journey, in my self-care. I should be further in my finances. This is an episode for you. We all have an area of our life where we're feeling like we're lacking and we should have started earlier. This episode will help you to trust your timeline, help you to deepen that self-compassion. We are so hard on ourselves, and to move forward with clarity and confidence. Confidence is what I am wishing for you today. And after listening to this episode, you will gain that clarity and confidence to apply that to wherever you're feeling behind and reframing the conversation because you are exactly where you need to be. If today's episode resonates with you or you feel a friend or a family member could really benefit from it, please subscribe to the Mindful Malibu Morning, share this episode, share this podcast with others, and like and leave a review. That is really helpful for moving forward with this beautiful information sharing to you guys. With that, let's get into it. Today, we're exploring something that so many of us feel that I'm personally kind of going through right now in an area of my life. And it's this quiet fear of being behind. I'm behind in life. I'm behind in my career. And I'm looking at others and they seem to have it together. They seem to have propelled and they're action focused. They're moving forward. And I don't know. I feel stuck. I feel behind. Maybe it is in motherhood or becoming a parent. Maybe it's in healing. You've gone through something really big and you're frustrated because you still feel like you're in the trenches after so long. Maybe it's feeling like everybody is in a relationship, everyone's getting married, everyone's having a baby. And I just feel like, what am I doing? I'm behind in this timeline. I want to offer you a new lens today, a lens that's going to help you reframe the feeling of being behind and give you that power and that clarity moving forward. Because so often our ego and our deep rooted feelings can really drive the narrative in our mind and change the lens in how we show up in our day to day and how we wake up and how we become so hard on ourselves. Think about the area of your life where you're feeling behind, and let's explore, how do we get through the blockage, get through those feelings, that we are building that actionable movement going forward. And we feel good, even if it's taking a little bit longer than we expected. I want to share an area where I am feeling behind and a time where I felt really behind and it turned into a beautiful, beautiful blessing. And I want you to recall a time where you felt really behind in something. And today you're so grateful that you were behind because it transpired into something so absolutely beautiful for you. An area where I'm currently feeling behind is setting up my home and my routine and my family structure because we moved. We moved to a new area and we have a large property and we have absolutely no idea what we're doing. We have added animals to our property and we are getting into the groove of this new lifestyle. This lifestyle is very calm. We've slowed down a bit, but there's a lot of work to it physically to get this property up and running. And I'm finding that people who have been living in this area for a very long time are already in it. They're in the groove. They've got the helpers that they need. Their kids are signed up in all of the summer camps. They're connected. They know the people. They have plans. They have things going on. And it is something that I feel very behind. And I have added guilt because I have my son and I'm expecting as well another child. I'm 6 months pregnant. I'm very much feeling behind because I don't feel dialed in yet. And while every day it's getting closer and it's clicking more for myself, I'm finding that there's something new where I just feel like I'm completely out of the loop and I'm missing this huge piece that everyone is in on. And when I walk around our property, I see projects and we have planted seeds and worked hard and we've set up routines. And it still has felt, even though again, it's shifting, it didn't feel like anything was happening. We have our garden that is yet to be built that we thought we would be building within the first year, but there were so many house projects that took away that time. So we have this giant flat dirt lot that is waiting to be this oasis of a beautiful garden, and the roots and the seeds are not planted and the roots have not started growing. So I very much feel behind in that aspect. But each day we are planning goals for our family and we are counting our small wins so that we are beginning to plant seeds and the roots can take hold and grow. Just because you can't see it, it doesn't mean it's not happening. Another quote that I found really helpful in my mind throughout this whole process is that you can have it all. It just might not be all at once. And that is something that is sitting very deeply with me as I am in this new area and this new lifestyle and finding ways for it to click and work for my family. A year ago, that dirt plot was overgrown with weeds and old wrought iron from the garden that was there previously, and it was dirty and things were dying and it was messy, and it took us a long time to get through that. And that is actionable movement forward to the garden that we are planting. We are now down to that flat dirt. It's that blank slate. That blank slate that feels like we're so behind is actually a representation of so much of the work that we've done in the past year. And it's a blank slate for starting over for our family, for our kids. And I know that the community events and the things that I'm going to sign my son up for will start to click, and he's going to find something that he absolutely loves. And it's going to happen for us. But that is something that right now I'm personally struggling with. And every day I'm counting my mini wins. We so often measure ourselves by the blooms, the blooming season, and not the roots. The root work is so essential and it's unseen, but it doesn't mean that it's unworthy. And that's the hardest part. It's that trusting piece. I remember landing the first position of my career in education where I felt like I had made it. I had nailed this interview and got this incredible position as a college counselor at a top public high school. And I was moving. So I was moving from my hometown, and it was in my mid-20s where I began this career. And everyone back in my hometown started getting married and having babies. And I remember I was around 26, 27, and I was a bridesmaid in so many weddings. And when I moved to LA, so many women were absolutely not settling down. They were beginning their careers, they were dating, they were hopping around, they were involved in 1,000 different things. And it was just a different lifestyle than what I was born with. So I would feel so proud. I had this amazing position. I was so proud of my job title, and the work that I was doing was fulfilling me in a huge capacity. But every time I went back home to visit my family or to go through the holidays, it was this quiet yet loud ringing of, oh gosh, you're such a catch. He will come, like your relationship will come, the man will come. And I remember feeling so quietly frustrated and annoyed because I felt like all of the external performances that I was nailing in my career didn't make up for the fact that I wasn't getting married or I wasn't in a serious relationship. But I loved my work and I kept working and I kept dating, and the guys I kept dating weren't clicking. And so I remember the morning of my 30th birthday, I did not want to get out of bed and go to work. I felt like I should be further along in my life as a whole. I was dating, but nothing was really clicking. I had the job, but I still felt like I was defeated somehow because I wasn't in that serious relationship. I wasn't heading towards that next level and that next step. And I just wanted it so bad. And I was late to work. And I remember being about an hour late to work, and my boss called me and I started freaking out. So I got there and I walk in, and the entire office had a surprise birthday cake, and they had been waiting for me with donuts and coffee to celebrate my 30th birthday. And it was this light bulb that went off in my head that just because I didn't have this relationship piece didn't mean that I wasn't steamrolling ahead in something so incredible. And the career in front of me led to so many incredible experiences because it gave me this confidence. Had I never moved out of my hometown and dove into this career that challenged me, and it definitely challenged me, I went to conferences, I had mentors, I started speaking at conferences. I started reaching out to people. I ended up publishing a book. All of these things that I never thought that I could do because it felt scary and new and different, and I felt like I needed more qualifications for, they all started clicking. And I can guarantee that if I was in a relationship or I stayed back in my hometown, so many of those experiences would not have happened. And that was a huge moment for me. The timing of the relationship would transpire when it was meant to. And I was able to focus on my career, but I still remained open to taking dates and to having people set me up. But I focused on myself and what was working. Here's the truth that I kept coming back to, and I keep coming back to now. You are not behind. You are becoming who you're supposed to be. You are moving through the exact lessons, the challenges, the detours to get that growth that you need. And even if it doesn't look like it makes sense, if it's linear, if it's pretty, it can be messy and it can be really slow, but you are not behind. There are some flowers that will bloom in 30 days. I planted seeds on our property that have sprung up throughout random pastures. And I have planted a row of seeds that will take an entire season. We have trees that we bought, apple trees, cherry trees, orange trees, and those trees will take years, years to grow and years to produce. In fact, right now, our job is to cut back the trees, even though my one tiny cherry is blossoming and producing. We need to cut the branches back in order for it to be stronger in the future and grow. Our apricot tree is the same thing. It is a mature apricot tree, but it's been neglected for years. Once we cut everything back, we started seeing apricots. I didn't want to pluck them or touch them. I wanted them to transpire and produce in their beautiful glory, but I needed to cut back a lot of the branches so that next season we will have plenty of apricots. We can't rush these things, and that is what is so difficult, especially when it comes to us. Think about the advice you give to a friend. A friend who might be so frustrated that they have interviewed 10 different times and they haven't been hired. Think about a friend who just got done with their date and she calls you and it wasn't a successful date. And again, she's going home and ordering takeout and she's frustrated. What would you say to that friend? Oftentimes, we give our friends such great advice and we know it in our heart for ourselves, but we don't apply it. There are these external pressures, these societal expectations and milestones that we measure for ourselves. It can be placed upon us by our upbringing, by society, by Instagram, if you're comparing yourselves to others, by our friend group. But the deeper work and what makes more sense is how deeply are you growing into yourself, not the external, but the internal. Now is a really great time to pause and reflect. And you can get out a journal, and these prompts can be really helpful, or you can simply listen to them as you're walking, as you're listening to this, as you're driving your car. Where in your life are you telling yourself you are behind? Where are you scrolling on Instagram and getting annoyed because there's one more engagement? Did a friend tell you that they bought their first home and you are burning on the inside? Did a colleague get a raise and level up their position? Did somebody launch a business that you hoped you would launch? Where in life are you telling yourself you are behind? Now, what would shift if you trusted that this is your root season? And what I mean by root season is this is the season where you're planting the seeds and the roots are growing. The roots are growing underneath the ground and we cannot see them yet, but the growth is happening. So if you trusted that you have done the action, what would shift for you? If you've trusted that you have opened yourself up to the opportunity of love, that you are looking for positive aspects, what would shift for you? And then what is already blooming that you haven't celebrated? This could be relationships that you let go of because they were no longer serving you. So you may not be in the relationship yet, but you were able to let go of ones that were wasting your time. Should you celebrate the fact that you walked away from a job that was no longer serving you, and now you have the time and the space to discover something new? Should you celebrate the fact that you've updated your resume and you have taken a few gigs for free and taken a mentor to coffee so that you can begin to put yourself out there for your next career or your next passion project? What is growing under the surface for you? Even if you can't see it, what seeds have you started to plant and what roots are beginning to grow? The seeds that you're planting can be so small, and that's fine. It could be a simple mind shift. It could be a simple action. What small action can you take to remind yourself that you are exactly where you need to be, but you are also putting in the work and putting out the energy that you are wanting and open and accepting of this future possibility for you? For us here, a huge component for me was being able to get my son connected in something in the community so that I could meet more moms, so that I could feel engaged and a part of our community and not just so isolated up in our area. So that looked like signing him up for swim lessons at the local high school and through the city. I took him there a couple weeks ago, and two moms happened to be a part of his daycare that he's been going to this past spring. And it was only a half an hour long. It was a 30-minute long swim lesson, and I was nervous to go. But it was incredible because we all shared the same discussions about places we were eating or things that we were dealing with our kids. And I felt so connected to this city and this community with 30 minutes and two moms simply by signing up for local swim lessons. At our property, we've made a list of priorities so that we don't get overwhelmed. And each month we can tackle one bigger priority. And each week we can do something really small. So whether that's watering the trees that we planted, whether that's cleaning up one area of our property, that's been really helpful. So what's the small actions that you can take? The next phase of this is really thinking about how we measure how fast we're growing, how fast we're moving. We place so much comparison on ourselves that measuring the forward path can be really frustrating. So your value is not in how fast you grow. It's where you are now, and it's where you're rooted, where your feet are planted in. Throughout this time, even if you haven't had the thing happen for you yet, I want you to think about the soft skills that you are already building. You might be gaining knowledge, wisdom, trust in yourself, compassion, resilience, or adaptability. These are the superpowers that you have. And if you're interested in an episode, I would go back to the superpowers episode that I did a few weeks back. I'll link it in the show notes. Measuring the skills that you are learning along the way is gaining confidence and helping to propel you to where you're going. It's not about how fast we're getting to where we need to be. It's not this race. The only person that can really measure our growth is ourselves. And we measure that through the lessons we're learning, not just the end result. I would not have gained the confidence and the knowledge in my career. I would not have been able to publish the book that I published. I would not have attended as many conferences had I not taken a risk and moved out of my hometown. And that's not to say that if I was in a relationship, I would throw all of my career stuff away. But I can guarantee if I had kids a lot earlier, I would not have traveled the world and spoke at conferences and done all of these things at this pivotal moment of my career. And I still want to do all of that again, but I am in this moment where I have little ones at home, I'm pregnant again, and it is a different shift for me career-wise. So I am so grateful that I was able to gain this knowledge, this level of experience, this worldliness by traveling, and these skills about speaking in a professional setting before I got to the quote unquote finish line of marriage and kids. So rather than thinking that you are behind, because remember, you are not behind, you are exactly where you need to be, think about what is happening in your life right now and what is working. What are you grateful for? What do you appreciate that is happening in your life right now because of your circumstances? Maybe because you're not there yet. Maybe you're not where you want to be career-wise, but maybe you are learning the skills of communication, the skills of problem solving. Maybe you are not where you want to be financially, but now you're in a position where you're learning and you're growing and you're speaking and talking to people and you're getting connected and you are learning the value of where you want to put your money and how you want to spend your time. Every day and every week is an opportunity to notice something small, those small actionable steps that will move you forward into something much, much bigger. And it's that self-trust, that self-awareness that we need to build for that confidence in feeling like I am okay where I'm at because I know that I already have those seeds planted and the roots growing. So you're not behind. You're not a late bloomer. You are right on time, and you might be in a slow season in an area of your life, but you are trusting that. An affirmation can be really helpful. I trust that I am exactly right where I need to be. I trust where I am today in this moment. I appreciate and notice the things and the people that show up for me and remind me that I am on the right path, that I am moving forward in a positive direction. I'm going to go one step further. I'm going to give you guys a short meditation at the end of this. A short meditation for grounding and trusting where you are. And before I get into that meditation, if this message really spoke to you, please send it to somebody that you love. Send it to someone that you think might really need it and share it. And I would love to hear your reflections on this episode. So you can send me a DM on Instagram at the Mindful Malibu Morning. You can tag me, or you can like and leave a review on this episode. And as we lead into our meditation, I wish you clarity and peace and the trust that your path is unfolding exactly as it needs to be. And now for our meditation, find a comfortable seated position, sitting upright with your hands laying gently on your lap. Take a deep breath in and a slow breath out. Let your shoulders drop, your hands soften. Let yourself arrive. Be here in this moment. There is nowhere else you need to be. There is nothing else you need to do. I invite you to gently close your eyes and take one breath in and one breath out. You are exactly where you are meant to be. As you breathe, if you find your mind racing forward or looping to the past, gently return to your breath. As you inhale, inhale the word trust. And as you exhale, release. On your next inhale, affirm, I am grounded. As you exhale, exhale, I am safe. There is no behind. There is only this step, this breath, right here and right now. Let yourself feel the steadiness beneath you, reassuring yourself of this present moment. You are unfolding exactly at the pace that you need. Your path is not meant to look like anyone else's. Let yourself trust the unfolding. Trust the timing. Trust the pauses. Trust the unknown. Take a deep breath in and out. And for our final affirmation, I trust the pace of my life. I am not behind. I am becoming exactly as I am meant to be. Take one final rooted, affirming breath in. Breathing from the ground, the roots planted, filling up your lungs with the beautiful actions, the beautiful momentum that you have. As your lungs fill, keep that word trust and breathe it out. Solidify where you are. Trust where you are. You are confident. You are calm, because you are right where you need to be, and everything will continue to be clearer each and every day. You simply need to exist. You got this. Gently open your eyes. Notice the shift that you might feel in your body just with these few minutes of affirmations, of breathing, of words. Notice how you feel from when we started this episode. And if you made it to the end of this, I want to congratulate you, because you are putting in the work, and not even the work, you're affirming that you are on the right path, because you are taking the time to build that confidence and to solidify that inner trust. You have so much to offer, and you are just getting started. I promise you. You're doing a beautiful, beautiful job. As you step into the days and the week ahead, I want to encourage you to notice the small things that are working, or write down a list of appreciation for the things that are noticing that come up for you, that remind yourself that you are strong, you are capable, and you're right where you need to be. And the word behind is a word that we do not need to have in our vocabulary. I hope you found today's episode helpful and this conversation to be one that was insightful and affirming for you. Again, share it with a friend, like or subscribe if you found this really helpful for you. And if you are interested in more guided meditations, I release bonus episodes about every week on different topics. So you can find it on YouTube, Instagram, or the podcast. It is all the Mindful Malibu Morning. I want to thank you guys for taking the time out of your day to be in this moment here with me. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful week as you witness the miracles that are happening right in front of you, because there are so, so many. Take care.